Welcome to Mini Maths at Virtual School Victoria. Today we're going to practice using maths, different kinds of maths in a real life situation. Let's start with our first idea. The class today was on the 29th of October 2019. What is the date next Tuesday? And what is the significance of the first Tuesday in November in Melbourne? The date next Tuesday from the 29th of October is the 5th of November 2019, and here are at least two different ways, three counting that one, to write the date. When you fill in a form, you'll see things like DD, MM, YYYY, which stands for day, for month, and for year. And of course, next Tuesday is the first Tuesday of November, and we have the race that stops the nation. Melbourne is the only capital city, or only city in the whole world, that has a holiday for a horse race. The first Melbourne Cup was run in 1861. The prize money was £170, which was a lot of money in those days, and in today's dollars, £170 would be worth $340. Now, how many years ago was the Melbourne Cup first run? To solve that problem, you need to find the difference. Which of these strategies would you use? You can subtract or you can count on to find the difference. If we use a subtraction algorithm, this is called a system or a process for solving the subtraction. I'll let you look at that for a moment because you can see how we had to break down 2,000 to get 1 in the thousands column, 9 in the hundreds column, 11 in the tens column, and 9 in the ones column to get an answer of 158 years ago. This is the racetrack where the horses will run on Tuesday. A lot of lovely maths in here. What do we call a view when we're looking down from above? We can call this a bird's eye view or an aerial view. Looking at the map, do the horses run clockwise or anti-clockwise? They run in the opposite direction that the clock goes, so it is an anti-clockwise course. Horses in the Melbourne Cup run 3,200 metres. How many kilometres is this? As you can see, a kilo is a prefix that means 1,000. So 1,000 metres equal 1 kilometre. So if we have 3 kilometres, we have 3,000 metres plus 200 metres, or 3.2 kilometres. The other way to do it is to just take your 3,200 metres, divide it by 1,000, and you will get 3.2 kilometre track. Now, the Melbourne Cup is run usually in more than 3 minutes and less than 4. The slowest time recorded was 3 minutes and 52 seconds. The fastest time was 3 minutes and 16 seconds. What is the difference between the fastest time and the slowest time? Again, we start with a larger number to do the subtraction, and we do the smaller number. Most of us should be able to do that in our heads, but this is how we get 36 seconds from a subtraction. A little bit more of a challenge. Approximately how long will it take a horse in the Melbourne Cup to run 1,000 metres? So what you need to do is know it takes about 3 to 4 minutes to run the whole race, and then we break it down into its parts. And we use rounding, which is a good problem-solving strategy. Now, we've got 1,000 metres will take about 1 minute, 2,000 metres will be 2 minutes, and 3,000 metres about 3 minutes. So a Melbourne Cup horse can run 1,000 metres, which is a kilometre, in approximately 1 minute. 24 horses race in the Melbourne Cup, most times. Not counting the jockeys, how many legs altogether in the Melbourne Cup? There are lots of ways to solve this problem. We have 20 horses and 4 legs for each horse. So we break it up into 20 plus 4 and we multiply each part by 4. So 20 times 4 gives us 80, 4 times 4 gives us 16, and when we put it together, we have 96 horse legs in the Melbourne Cup. We'll solve that problem, and this time we'll include the jockey legs. How will you solve that problem? The way I did it, I had the 2 jockey legs and the 4 horse legs gave us 6 legs. So we did 20 times 6 is 120, and 4 times 6, which is this 4 here, 24, added them together and got 144 legs. Or you can remember that we had 96 legs with just the horses, then we multiplied the jockey legs and we still get 144 legs. Now, Melbourne Cup is about the prize money. $7.3 million. Say that or write it as a whole number. $7,300,000 or $7,300,000 is how we say it. Of the prize money, the owner of the horse gets 85%, the trainer gets 10%. What percentage does the jockey get? The total amount available is 100%. And if the owner and the trainer get 10%, the jockey will have 5%. The Melbourne Cup trophy is made of 1.5 kilograms of gold. How many grams of gold would this be? Well, remember a kilo, 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. 0.5 is always a half, so we will have a half a kilogram or 500 grams. So in total there are 1,500 grams of gold in the cup. The Melbourne Cup trophy is valued at $250,000. Say or write $250,000 as a whole number. And I'll do this for you. So it is 250,000 is $250,000, because if we had this 4 times, it would make $1 million. Here are the first 3 place getters in the race. What fraction is shown here if we have 24 horses in the race? We have 3 out of 24 horses shown here. The lowest term is 1/8. We found 1/8 by finding a number that divides evenly into 3 and divides evenly into 24, and that number is 3. And we got 1/8. So that's just a fraction of the maths you would have in the Melbourne Cup. Today we looked at some of these topics using subtraction to find the difference, mapping bird's eye views, solving measurement problems and time problems, using tables and multiplication to solve simple problems, and looking at fractions and percentages in the Melbourne Cup. I love this video. It's a 10-minute video here that tells you how the Melbourne Cup is made each year. Enjoy doing maths in a lot of different situations. Thank you for listening.